So hello guys. So this is a video tutorial on the step-by-step guide, the deployment and administration of Learner's Microsoft Office 365 account. Right? As a backgrounder, the Ed Central Office, particularly the ICTS, has purchased a country license of Microsoft Office 365 for all the teaching and non-teaching staff as well as all the learners. Right? So almost 100% of our teachers and non-teaching already have their Microsoft Office 365 accounts. So this time, we will be deploying additional Microsoft Office 365 accounts for the learners. All right. So we already have conducted a orientation with regards to this one last November 2020, right? But this time, I just would like to give emphasize on the uh, deployment and administration, particularly for learner accounts in Microsoft Office 365, right? So this is actually in reference to Division Memorandum number 151, series of 2021. So the first step in getting the learner's account is for you to secure the G Suite or Google for Education account, school account. All right. So this is the role of the school ICT coordinators. Okay, as discussed during the previous orientations, the school ICT coordinators shall be uh, tasked to manage the G Suite for Education or the Google School account of their respective schools. Right? So the format for your Google School account is simply the school ID at deped.gov.ph. Right? So for example, 112.991 at deped.gov.ph. Right? So for you to be able to view your G Suite or Google School account, kindly visit the link that is https://bit.ly/school-emails. That link contains a Google Sheet file in where you can view your school accounts with your respective school ID, school username with using the school ID and the password. All right. Before accessing the account, make sure also that you are using a valid DepEd employees DepEd email for you to access the shared file. Okay? Once makita ninyo ng Google Sheet, kindly search for your school ID. Okay? And then you can now have your G Suite for Education Google School account. So what you're gonna do next is that you have to log in gmail.com, or in most cases, since nakalagin man ang ato ang employees dapat email, like in my case, so I will just click the picture icon and then click add another account. So with that, I don't need to log out my employees dapat email for me to log in the school email. Okay, I'll just add a new account using the add another account na link as shown in the screen. After that, of course, you have to sign in using your school Google account and then click next and then enter the password. Okay, so the password again, kindly refer to the master list of school accounts, uh, which can be downloaded as shown in the previous slides. The link is shown in the previous slide, right? So once you have access now, you click accept. Okay, so you will now have access to all the G Suite applications using the school account. Okay, so you have here there the Gmail, the Google Drive, Classroom, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and so on. So with these G Suite applications, you can actually use this one without using your employees' depend emails. Okay, so if there are activities, school related activities, like for example, for the Google Drive, okay, so you don't need to use your employees' Google Drive to store photos of school's activities. Okay, but you can use the account of the school, the G Suite account of the school, to store screenshots, photos in the Google Drive of the school, right? But again, as the school ICT coordinator, you will be tasked to manage the Google School account. Okay, so once you have access the G Suite, uh, kindly click now the Gmail so you can check what's the content of your Gmail in where it will be your portal to have access for the learner accounts in Microsoft. Okay, so step three, in your Gmail application, look for an email from learner.accounts. So that email is dated May 15, 2021. Right? So as shown in the screenshot, the sender is learner.accounts with the subject Microsoft 365 for education user accounts. Okay, so once you open that email, it actually contains the following links. First is on the guidelines on the use and administration of G Suite for education and Microsoft 365 education. It also contains Microsoft Office 365 for education account for learners, an instruction file for learners on accessing Microsoft 365 education and setting up the SSPR or the self-service password reset. And lastly, that email also contains link for the school administrator account to reset the password of learner accounts with which can be accessed through admin.microsoft.com. Okay, so when you try to open that email, so this is the content. In the second paragraph for the step 4, okay, so that's actually the uh, email body. Okay, in second paragraph, all learners in your school based on learner information system as of December 2020 and LESF as of August 21 have been created account in Microsoft Office 365. Okay, so how can you access those accounts, those learner accounts? Just simply click the learner credentials na link, the one uh, with the blue nga text color. Okay, so please ensure that this data be kept confidential. Okay, so once you click that one, the learner credentials, it will ask for your school account and password. This time for Microsoft. Okay? So katong ganina, it's your school account for Google or the G Suite. But once you click the learner credentials, it will ask again for your account for Microsoft. So this time, this is your Microsoft school account. So how can you know or asa mo mag-refer for your Microsoft School accounts? So you have here another link that's bit.ly/ms school account. Okay, so when you try to visit that link, it will give you or that Google Sheet will give you your school's Microsoft account, school account. Okay, so na dito ang Microsoft account, that's actually the same, the school ID at deped.gov.ph with the password, which is different from your G Suite na password. Okay, so you refer again to that link. So sign in and then enter the password, refer to the master list for the password, and then click sign in. Once you have signed on, it will ask for you to access any of the following. Okay, so first is your mobile phone. Okay, so you have to enter the mobile phone and then i-click din ninyo tong text me. So first select ninyo Philippines, then 956 something like that, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 for your number, and then click text me. Once you click the text me, it will text the number that you have entered for a 6-digit verification code, and then you enter the 6-digit verification code. After you have set up the mobile phone, I use again your for the second time the email. Okay, for this time dili siya magdawat og DepEd email, but you have to enter the school's Gmail or pwede po ng inyong personal na Gmail. Okay, and then lastly for the security questions. Then after you have set up the security feature, you can click finish. All right? So after you click finish, you now have access to your learner accounts. All right. So this learner accounts, this is in Microsoft Excel format as shown in the screenshot. Okay. When you open that one, it actually contains the account of all the learners in alphabetical order. Okay. So what we're gonna do is that as the school ICT coordinator, you will sort these accounts, these learner accounts according to grade level and forward each of this account to the classroom advisor. All right? It is the responsibility of the classroom advisor to issue the account to the parents of the learners in which they will update the account information and password. All right? So dito lang tama ang inyong role to sort according to grade level and forward each to the classroom advisor. And then you instruct the classroom advisor to issue the account to the parents of the learners or even directly to the learners for junior high school and senior high school, in which each of these learners will update their individual account information and password. Later on, we will have a run through on how to update the account information and password. All right, it is important to note that all concerned are enjoined that the distribution and administration of learner accounts must be done speedily and accordingly. All the concerned in performing the task above must adhere to data privacy law. All right? So how to log in for the learners Microsoft 365 account? Okay, so nana sila account ang mga learners, nakita ninyo dire sa Excel file. Okay, you sort it, you give it to the classroom advisor, and then you orient the classroom advisor on how the learners can access their Microsoft account so that the classroom advisor will orient the parents and the learners on how they can update the account information and password. So this is how they can update the account information and password. So first, the learner must visit office.com. Right? So in office.com, they have to log in their DepEd Office 365 account. Okay, katong gihatag sa ilang advisor. So before I forgot, the format for the learners Office 365 account is lrn at r10.deped.gov.ph. Okay, so kung sa atua, DepEd employees, that's first name, that last name. For our learners, their format is their 12-digit LRN. Okay, so they will enter it and then the password, which can also be seen dito sa Excel file. And then after that, when they click sign in, it will ask again to update the password. Okay, so enter the current password. To update the password, they have to enter the current password, meaning katong password naggihatag sa ilhang advisor, and then the new password. For the new password, it is important that uh, they have to remember the new password and the confirmed password. Kay wala na record ana ang school ICT coordinator or even the division office kung unsay gibutang nila as new password and confirmed password. Okay? The new password and confirmed password must also match so that you can proceed with the form. Then after that, click sign in. So after clicking sign in, it will again at asked for the authentication phone number and authentication email address. So it's the same katong gibuhat ninyo with your Microsoft School account. So the same for the uh, learners Microsoft account. So enter the authentication phone and the authentication email as well as the security question. After that, they can now click finish. Okay, so this is now the dashboard of the office.com nga nakalagin na. Okay? So in the upper right, there's a link which says install Office. So if the learner will click it, it will give the learner an installer for Microsoft Office 365. By the way, ang ilahang license ani is A3 for students. Okay? For the learner accounts. So the same, they have a license for Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, and so on with the different applications in Microsoft Office 365 environment. Okay. Uh, it is also important to note that they can install this Microsoft Office 365 up to 15 devices. 15 meaning pwede siya lima ka smartphone, pwede nila installan dito, up to 5 smartphones, up to 5 computer or laptop, and then up to 5 tablets. So that's if you have many gadgets, if the learner have many gadgets, pwede niya i-install ang iyang Office 365 across all those gadgets. So again, 5 mobile phones, 5 laptop or computer, and then 5 tablets. Okay? So all the student need to do is to install the Office in his or her own devices. Okay, so after mag-click ang install Office, select the install Office and click Office 365 apps. Then it will give the student the installer and then click run, then click yes, and then it will download the installer. So after that, after ma-download ang installer, then that's the time pwede na siya i-install and then sit back and relax while Office is being installed in your PC or pwede po siya sa mobile phone or sa tablet. Okay, stay connected to the internet during the installation. Installation time may vary depending on your connection speed. Okay, after ma-install, it will prompt that you're all set. Office is installed now. Okay, so congratulations, you now have your Microsoft Office 365 account. So this time for the Office 365 password reset and management. So how to set up the password reset. Okay, so for password reset process for DepEd Office 365 account, so you have to enable the self-service password reset. Okay, so kato bitawng pag-login ninyo ganina, if you could remember, it asked for your cell phone number. Di ba katong ingon ko nga +63 956 1234567, then click then ang text me, then it will text you a 6-digit verification code. So you have to set up that one so that your self-service password reset will be enabled for your account. So in cases that you forget your password, so all you need to do is to click the forget password. Okay, so the student or the learner need not to ask the advisor to reset the password. Since in the steps that we have discussed, the student has enabled the self-service password reset. Okay, so the student will click the forget password button, then input the required information like the phone number or the alternative email to recover the account. Okay? So example, if phone number akong gibutang, if phone number, the student will then receive a text message or an SMS containing an authentication code or a set of security questions for you to answer. Okay? If a code is received from either text or email, input the code sent and change your password. So with that, you can now recover the Microsoft Office 365 account of the learner. Okay, so it is very important that you give emphasis that they have to set up the self-service password reset so that in cases that they will forget their password, pwede ra sila ang mag-recover using the self-service password reset. Okay, be sure to secure your password and do not share it with anyone. Okay, so with this one, okay, click log in at office.com and click forgot my password. Okay, and then input the user account. Okay, and then it will also ask for a captcha. Okay, and then enter the cell number katong gi-set up ninyo ganina. Okay, this case 091712345539. Okay, and then click text. So once you click text, you will receive the yun in that number at authentication code 6-digit authentication code or verification code, and then click you type it in the text box and then click next, right? And then after that, you now have set up your recovered your account using the self-service password reset. Okay, so you will then be asked to enter a new password and then confirm new password. And this time, hopefully, dili na ninyo limtan. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation, no, on how to uh, access the learner accounts, the Microsoft Office 365 learner accounts, and also how to recover the account if ever the learner will forget their password using the self-service password reset. So thank you very much and have a good day.